Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast presented by the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. Elliot Shore Parks, James Seltzer with you. It's the first official Bet Parks Picks pod of the season. What up? We made it. We are picking game. Like we've talked all off. So, we're going to be picking games. We're going to pick every game. Download the app. We're doing it. We're picking games. All right. So like there's actual football games we're picking.
Let me make an announcement. So over the last few years, if you listen to this pod from the beginning and me joining it, you know that I've learned about gambling as we've gone on. At first, I didn't understand the lines. I didn't know how it worked. Now it's part of my everyday conversation. I get it. It's one of my favorite things I've learned over the last few years. I told myself I wanted to learn geography. I learned gambling instead. So you give it
much more useful, if we're being honest.
Much more useful. But if you've listened to the Parks pod over the years, you know we gamble for fun, right? We don't bet large amounts of money. We're not sweating things out. But I think this year, James, because now we have a really cool thing going with Bet Parks where our like parlay is going to be in the app. So the Go Birds listeners can bet with us, literally. But here's the other thing. There's going to be lots of people that don't listen to the pod that see that. I think it's time as a Go Birds community to take this season seriously. It's time to win some bets. It's time to win some bets, I think. If you're in the comment section, give us here. Yes. What do you think?
I mean, hey, I'm down to try. Well, what's funny is the first year it was just you and me doing picks. We were both awesome.
Like we killed it. Yeah.
Like I was like 20 games over 500.
Yep.
I mean, you were like 10 games
over
by
a few. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we or like 14, whatever. We were awesome. Yeah, I'm in on giving it a shot. Let's win some money. What a crazy thought. Let's win some shekels.
Yeah, so for those who also have not listened to the pod, what we do is we take 100 shekels, we put it in at the beginning of the season, and we see where we can go from there.
That's right.
So we will be taking the 100 shekels, we'll be putting it in our Bet Parks account. The season has arrived. It's time to win some shekels and talk about some games. It's time.
Okay. Also, quick.
Look at you in the Eagle shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, you think this wasn't purposeful, buddy? Right. Okay, I am so right. You want to know how far it goes? Look for the. You see that?
Wow.
Can you see it? Eagle shorts too.
Well,
yeah.
Buddy. Anytime someone on the StreamYard stands up and puts their leg up, you know it's only good things are coming from.
I was showing some skin to start the season, Elliot. Let's go. That's how fired up I am. That's right. See, that was number one reason right there to watch the YouTube.
Yeah.
So quick note, last pod we talked about, keeping track of our bets on how, you and I, we just don't, we just don't.
We're not great at it.
And I was like, Tucker can do it. Horrible job by me. I forgot our buddy Stokes does it. Shout out to Stokes
and Ned. Like
Brody, real one. Shout out to Ned. That's
there.
on me. That's on me. Also, I mean, let's be honest. There was a 0% chance Tucker was actually going to do it.
Right. Tucker was never going to do it.
Tucker looked at me like I was crazy when I said it. So Ned and Stokes are heroes. Thank you. You're back on the clock. We will not pay you for it, but we will love you for it.
With friendship.
And we're going to hope that's enough. We're going to hope that's enough.
Friendship, what it's all about.
So we're going to win some bets this year. This is going to be exciting.
Now let's do it.
We're taking this very seriously. We're not even guessing the lines. We've always said, Bill Simmons, Cousin Sal, that's their thing. We have fun with it. We're not even going to do that. Like we're hammering in, hammering home, locking in, making.
It's winning time. It's winning
time. I like that. Like
winning
TV
time.
Show. You a fan of that TV show?
Never watched it. Yeah, but I do love reading Jeff Pearlman books.
He's a good writer.
Yes. He's probably my favorite writer.
Wow. Look at you.
Yeah. That or who wrote the Chronicles of Narnia?
C.S. Lewis. Yes. what a combo there.
Those would be my two right there.
The Chronicle. Yeah, it's good. That's stuck with you. Yeah. I think that's like one of the first books I remember reading all the way, like the whole series.
I used to love those books. In the movies, like I was a big Chronicles of Narnia guy. They were kind of like my Harry Potter.
Wow.
Yeah. And I loved Harry Potter. I'm just saying.
I mean, Harry Potter way better than Chronicles of Narnia, obviously.
Yeah.
Not even in the same hemisphere.
Yes, I would agree. But Chronicles of Narnia was very good.
Have you ever, looked into what, the Chronicles of Narnia is really about? And
I think, I would guess like God and stuff if I had to guess. Yeah. I just took it straight as it is. I didn't.
And we're about to picks, but I always say to Emily, like I am that guy who I just read stuff or watch stuff and don't think at all about the subtext.
Yes.
Like it has to be in my face, which for what it's worth, going back and looking at Chronicles of Narnia is
pretty obvious.
But like it has to be like right in my face or else I'm like, nah, didn't see that.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Yeah, I'm very much good at just taking it at face value.
I'm with you, buddy. All right, let's dive in. Let's win some money. Let's make some bets.
Let's do it.
The Bet Parks Picks pod. Let's go.
All right. So how are we going to do this then? Like, since I'm not guessing, we'll just go game by game and talk about it.
Yeah, just talk about it.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Just.
Did you want to guess? You still can guess.
No. I don't want to guess. I don't want to guess.
Yeah, because you're researching.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're winning this year.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Let's dive in. All right. Tomorrow night, Lions and Chiefs. It's happening. Travis Kelce. Will he play? A lot of excitement. Chiefs,
well, real quick.
I know. How about breaking news on the morning show?
Yeah. Props to you guys. Jason Kelce on the morning show. And this is important for gamblers. Look, there's no better source besides Travis himself, probably, than Jason Kelce. Said that he thinks Travis is going to play, basically. Yep. If I'm paraphrasing that correctly, like the knee is fine. He'll get the swelling down.
Bruce, I talked to Travis, just a bone bruise. It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. And he says he'll probably play. So, well, that being said, he will not be 100%.
And look, it's also possible that we know the way the NFL works, where there are a lot of times where teams save players from themselves, or as teams say, hey, it's week 1, bro. We need you week, 2 through 17. You're not playing. So like, I don't think it's a lock that Travis is playing just because Jason said that, but I do think, it's certainly no,
agreed.
Because he's just saying what Travis, I feel fine. I'll probably play or whatever. But like the Chiefs might be like, nah, man, it's week 1. Like, don't worry about it. So we'll see, especially with 10 days off, they might want to get him that extra time after. Either way, 4.5 points with all these variables as a part of it. What's your read on this one, E?
So, look, I don't think we're going to include this one in the parlay just because I don't love including a Thursday.
I hate that. I hate this line. I don't know which. Honestly, it's not a great way to start. I feel very good about a lot of these games. I have no idea on this.
So I feel really good about this game. I think the Chiefs minus 4.5 is a really good bet. The Lions, I don't think this is going to be like, okay, they're for real or they're not. Obviously, if they go in and beat Kansas City, that's extremely impressive. If they lose this game, I'm not going to say the hype wasn't real. They're not going to be good. I just don't think they're ready to go into Kansas City in this spot and win this game. Like, going into Kansas City is probably the toughest thing to do in the NFL right now, I would say. And the Lions are just they're not there yet. Like, there's levels to it. So I think, is there a chance, like, if this line was 6.5 or 7?
Well, it was 6.5. That's a point. And now it went down because of Kelce and because of all and because of Chris Jones too. No Chris Jones likely.
I don't think it matters. I feel very confident about Chiefs minus 4.5. We're not going to include it, but I feel very confident about it.
I don't feel very confident. I came into it thinking I would definitely pick the Chiefs. The Kelce thing worries me, the Chris Jones thing. And look, it used to feel like this game was always won by the home team, but the road team on Thursday nights have done really well to open the season the last few years. So I agree with you. I'll take the Chiefs because the line went down. But like, if it had stayed at 6.5, I probably would have taken the Lions, and I don't feel great about taking it. I'll take the Chiefs, but like, certainly not betting this game. All right, let's move on to the full slate of Sunday action. Sunday 1:00 games. Let's go, buddy. Plus, I'm excited we can actually watch these games with the Eagles at 4. Yes, all right, let's start with the worst game of the week because it's how it's listed in the app here. Arizona at Washington. Is that the worst game? Probably the worst game.
Well, we won't do it today. We'll probably save it for Saturday. But your boy Gannon making some waves today.
What, dude?
No, don't get into it. Don't get into it. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, just wanted to make sure. You haven't texted back about it. That's why I was wondering.
It makes me too angry. Like, what do you want me to write back? Like, he's like right below Ben Simmons and James Harden in terms of Philly.
Well, Harden making news today too. So a good day for
I know.
James.
Yeah. Like I loathe Jonathan Gannon. That's the word. I despise.
Yeah. Well, I have some thoughts on it too. I'll just say quickly. It was some real snake stuff to share that Sirianni.
Thank you.
Yeah, snake stuff to share that.
Thank you. It was. It really was. Yeah.
It was. And I agree.
He blamed the players. Like, just the whole thing.
That's where we disagree.
Whatever, but whatever. We'll get into this on Saturday. You're right. Let's see it. But I do think it is one of those things where, and we'll get into it more pods and all that stuff, but where it's like you're the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals.
I agree.
You don't gain anything. You don't gain anything from blaming on the players. Freaking take some freaking accountability. Like the one time he does, it's like even the guy who wrote the article is like mimicking, like kind of just being like, yeah, it's my fault. Sure. Yeah. Blame me, guys. Like, earmuffs. I'm not going to, but I wanted to F you, you effing loser. I effing hate you. That's how I feel about it.
So I like the Commanders -7 in this game.
Me too.
Look, the game is sold out, right? I think it's going to be like a real, for whatever we think of Joshua Harris, the fan base is very, very revved up about it.
As they should be, because we might not hate. I hate Josh Harris, and we've gone back and forth on it. But like, they got rid of like the worst owner of our lifetime, other than maybe James Dolan or whatever. And even worse in terms of a human being. Like the whole thing, the culture, like getting rid of Daniel Snyder is such a win for Washington.
I agree.
They should be excited.
And all that aside, like the Cardinals are hot garbage. Like they're going to be terrible.
The hottest garbage.
So I really like Commanders -7. I think they could win this game by like
20 points. I'm with you, dude. I didn't Sam Howell, the love, the excitement. I think we should consider it for parlay game. I don't love the idea of putting a bad team in the parlay to start, which I believe Washington is. Yeah, a mediocre to bad. But either way, let's mark it down. It's got a real chance to be in the parlay.
I'm going to put it in there. We can always take it out.
Okay, you're going to mark the parlay for us then.
Yeah, I'm going to put the ones in that we're considering.
Okay. Another horrible game. Carolina at Atlanta. Atlanta is a 3.5-point favorite at home. I'll go first on this one. We should switch off. I didn't think about that.
I feel like we're on a team this year. Like we're not really competing.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know what? Yeah, we'll go. Yeah. Either way, like I think this is another really hard one to pick. This will not be in the parlay for me. I really don't. I think both these teams are going to be pretty bad. I will take Carolina and just take the points. I would pick Atlanta to win the game, but it feels like a 3-point game to me. I don't love it any way, shape, or form. So I'll take the points.
Agreed. I don't have a great read on it. We never talk about this, but I kind of would like the under of 39.5. I think both offenses are not going to be good. And especially
like Desmond Ridder, Bryce Young playing in his first game.
Yep, agreed. So I would be scared to bet this one.
Look at you calling an under call. I do.
If I had to pick one, I think I would take Falcons -3.5 though. Just because they're more experienced, they have better weapons. Like that's where I would go on it.
Okay. All right. I'll take the points. I will, by the way, speaking of unders and overs, I do think even whether Kelsey plays or not, I think the over on 52, I know it's a lot of points. I think this Lions Chiefs game is going to be a track meet tonight.
Oh, you think so?
I think it's going to be like 35-28 or like that type of football game, 35-32. Like I think there's going to be a ton of points.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So this is one of my locks of the week. Like I feel awesome about this game.
Oh, I wonder where you're going. You've been such a big fan of the Browns heading into the season. I don't think it's a lock at all. So it's not going to be a parlay game for us, but Bengals 2.5 at the Browns. I'm with you. I will take the Bengals too, but I do not. I like the Bengals in this game, but like I could easily see they started 0-2 last year. I could see them getting off to a slow start. Burrow with the weird injury thing. The Browns coming in at home. Like I do not feel good about this game at all. I'll take the Bengals, but like if the Browns win, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
So I think there's an extreme overreaction to Joe Burrow's injury. I understand in the long run, I would feel worried about it. But in this game, if we're going to be serious about the Bengals being like a top competitor in the league, 2.5 on the road against the Browns are not making the playoffs. I'm telling you right now, the Browns are better than they were last year, but I saw them with my own two eyes. Like they should not be competing with the
I wouldn't overrate what you saw in a training camp practice though. Like you saw them for two practices. Like I would not go crazy. I think the Browns have a good roster. Like they have a really solid roster. They got a good offensive line. They have the best defensive player in football, in my opinion. I think he's better than both sides. Maybe Parsons. I think Parsons you could argue, but like I think Myles Garrett's right there. I like they got a ton of talent all over the field. And look, again, like I said in the preseason, I am obviously rooting against Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's going to turn it around per se, but like it wouldn't be crazy at all. 0% crazy if Deshaun Watson was one of the 5 to 10 best quarterbacks in football again. Like he's done that. He has shown that he can do that. So like, I get your point. I just think, and I am not as up on the Browns as a lot of people are. Mm-hmm. I think you are going too far with your dismissal of the Browns.
Yeah, so I would be surprised if Watson's the top 5 guy. I get your point that he's done it, but it was a while ago. I really like the Bengals -2.5, but it sounds like you're not moving on putting this one in.
Oh, there's no way I'm putting the Browns. Again, like I almost took the Browns. Like I'm going to take the Bengals. If it were 3.5, I would take the Browns.
All right.
But it's 2.5, so I'm going to take the Bengals. Game, so. I know, I could tell. I think you're, and again, I do think, I think you're underrating. And I don't understand your point. Like, I think the Burrow thing is much more of a worry in the short term than the long term. I think he'll be fine over the course of the season. It's just a calf strain, but he had no preseason, he had no training camp. He didn't practice at all. Now he's stepping into an NFL football game against Myles Garrett. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I think there's a lot more chance Joe Burrow's rusty in week 1 than he is in week 5.
Well, I meant more over the length of the season, he could aggravate it. I guess it could happen at any point. But if he's going into the game
I'm much more worried about him coming in rusty to this game than I am. You know what I mean? Maybe. Like, I think so. He's had like zero training camp practically. So I don't know. I'm a little more.
Shame we're not competing this year because this would be a big one. We'll know deep down this will be.
Yeah. Well, bragging rights. We'll remember it.
Yeah.
And again, like the funny thing is, I took the Bengals. I just think it'll be a closer game.
Right.
All right. Texans at Ravens. Ravens a 10-point favorite in week 1. I mean, like, so I
don't love it.
I don't love it. I think the Ravens will win the game. That seems like way too many points. Like, kind of thinking about taking the points.
So this could be an interesting one. I don't know if we want to get into this, but like adjusting it down to like, I think they're definitely going to win the game.
I think like if you took this one and moved it down to 6.5,
that's exactly the line I had in my head.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much it benefits the parlay.
Yeah, and look, the Ravens don't have a great defense. Like, there are holes on that defense.
Yeah.
Would I be shocked if it, like, maybe the Ravens are up 2 touchdowns and they're winning handily, and CJ Stroud scores a touchdown that doesn't mean anything? Like, I just 10 feels like a lot for a game for a Ravens team that I don't love, that I like, that I don't love.
Agreed. Okay. I really like this next one though. So far, all we have is
buddy. I love this next one.
Yeah.
So I think
we're
both
going to put it in right now.
Yeah. So we you don't love the road teams in a parlay thing, but the Jags only -5 at the Colts. Like, we are both on the same page with this. Like, we both think the Colts are going to be horrible. I think the Colts under on the season win total is my single favorite over under of all of them. And
what was it? It was 6.5.
6.5. Like,
that's absurd.
I think they're worse than the Texans. Like, I think they're the team that's going to be fighting Arizona for the first pick in the draft. I think the Colts are going to be uber bad.
I agree.
I love Jacksonville -5. Jacksonville, I think Jacksonville routes them in this game.
Yeah, I think they will as well. I saw something about this after we talked about it. Trevor Lawrence for MVP is an interesting odds bet. Like, I don't think he is as good as
Hurts last year. It's Hurts last year.
Yeah, he'll win a lot of games this year.
It's that bet. Right.
Yep,
I mean, and the odds probably aren't as long as Hurts was last year, but like, that's the bet. And and you're even making it more with a guy who, like, the pedigree guy. It's like, Trevor Lawrence. There you go. This is a statement you agree with. At the end of the season, Trevor Lawrence, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, you wouldn't be shocked at all.
No, I would not be shocked by that whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. So we'll give that one to the Jags. That's a nice one having the parlay. All right. Let's some haymaker games to get to, including this next one, which I think is arguably the best game of the day. One of them, outside of the night game, which we'll get to. But first, you're here right now, so I'm praying that you've downloaded the Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app, like in my heart, so that I can make it through the rest of this podcast, just like without, not being able to finish. Like, I'm going to assume that everyone here has it. So let's all have fun together and freaking make some money.
So here's what I would describe it. Yes. There's a show I used to watch on TV. I don't know if I can say the name or like how it works, but basically on the show, they would play a song and the contestants had to guess the song. And me and Kristen would have the app on our phone where you played along, right? So it was a fun show to watch, but you really couldn't really fully participate unless you had the app.
What a great reference to this here. This is great.
What? You like this?
This is a great analogy. I love it.
If you're listening to the pod and you're fans of the Go Bird and you're part of the community, why don't you have the Parks app to bet with us? If you gamble and you listen to the pod, like, you got to download it.
Yeah. And again, like, this whole thing all year, all the whole thing we do here is like this community thing that we've been talking about. That's why we're going to Dallas, so we can hang out with as many people as we can. Like, it's why we try and do events. It's why we try and do all this stuff. Like this is the single easiest way to do it. Like, to just do this with us, bet with us, have fun with us. And the Bet Parks app is the way to do it. Obviously, all these week 1 lines are available for bet. At the end of the show, we're going to pick our parlay. That'll be available for bet too. There, you can still bet on futures. There's so much action out there. It is a blast. It's so much fun. And again, the app is easy to use. It's intuitive. It's fun. Plus, here's a great deal for your new users. If you sign up, you make your first bet a $10 bet. If it is a winner, you get $125 in site bonus back. It is a great deal. You must be 21 and present in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Ohio, or Maryland. A gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Elliot. I really love this game.
I do too.
Yeah, and this is a big one for us for our preseason predictions.
We've been talking about this game.
Both of the teams. So the Niners at the Steelers, the Niners a 2-point road favorite in Pittsburgh. Like, a team that we hate, like, obviously we hate them as Eagles fans, but like a team that we think is overrated heading into the season, and a team that we think is underrated heading into the season. Slam that money line, baby. Let's go Steelers.
You want to do money line? You want to do money line?
Yeah, I don't know if we put it in the parlay. I feel like we have too much riding on this for the week. Like we're trying to win our bets. Like I don't know if I can handle having this game both mean what it means to me and also have it in the parlay and have the both sides of it.
It just feels like they'll win.
I think the Steelers are winning the game. I really believe the Steelers are going to win the game.
I do too.
All right, how about put it in the parlay for now? Let's see where we end up.
Okay.
Because we're trying to win this year. We're not doing no 17 parlays.
Agreed. That's what I mean. So just so you know, right now, the three we have are up to plus 648. And we could cut.
We could cut it. But so
just throwing it out there. We already have enough.
And there are other games that I like. So
I know.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
All right. So we both love the Steelers and we love the money line. Money line plus 104. So you do get plus odds. If you take the plus 2, it's minus 110. Like no brainer. Like
yes.
And I'm sorry if the Steelers lose by 1 point. I'm super sorry or whatever. Right?
That's a good point.
Yeah, right. Or excuse me, if the Steelers lose by 3 points. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on. Next one. Bucks at Vikings. I like this one a lot too.
Yeah, I like Vikings minus 6.
I love the Vikings minus 6. Again, I think the Vikings, I hate it, but I think they've been undervalued heading into the season by Parks, by the books. Like I think that, I think their over-under's 9.5. They won 13 games last year.
Yeah, agreed. And I think the Buccaneers are going to be terrible.
I think the Bucks are going to be horrific. So there's another game I like. We can keep this one off the parlay because, a late touchdown.
Well, I have it in there and we can always subtract.
Okay. All right. So we'll go. I like that. All right. I mean, I like this. Next one, actually, I don't like quite as much, but I do like it. Tennessee at New Orleans. I think so. You're big on New Orleans this year. I think Tennessee's undervalued. We talked about this last pod. I think they have a chance to surprise in the West.
So you kind of switched. You changed my opinion a little bit on this. Like I'm probably undervaluing the Titans a little bit to the point where I still think the Jags win that division, but I don't know if I'd love gambling against them at 3.5 in week 1.
Right? I love well, that's my point is I'm going with, I love the Titans at plus 3.5. Like, I think it's a good bet. I think it's a close football game either way.
Yeah, I'd pick the Saints, but I don't want it in the parlay.
Okay, well, I'm taking the Titans. It won't be in the parlay because we're on other sides, but I would pick the Titans to cover. I actually think the Saints win at home. All right, Packers at Bears, another one that I love. I'm sure.
Yeah, I love this one too.
Packers are a 1-point dog. Like I love the Packers. I love them. I'm
agreed. I think Jordan Love might be actually pretty good. And
I think so too.
Underrated. The Bears, I think, have an overrated preseason. I think the Packers just have more talent than the Bears.
I think the Packers are a better football team than the Bears.
I agree. I think they have a better coach.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm with you. So we love that one. Add that one in. We got a lot of options this week.
We really do. We have 5 in there.
I mean, look, we like the next one too. I know I do. Seahawks 5.5 point. Love the Hawks in this one. I do
too.
Like 5.5 is a weird line, but yeah, put it in there. That'll get cut. I like other games more, but I do like the Seahawks minus 5.5. I think that's a good bet.
Yeah, I think the Rams are going to be really bad.
I know the way you're going to go on this one. I'll probably go with you, but of all the weird lines we talked about, like the Eagles, it's only 4 on the road or whatever it is. We'll get to it. It's at 4 right now, but it's been 3.5. It's been 4.5, whatever. Oh, why are the Niners only 2 in Pittsburgh? Like there's all this stuff. Like for a team that people think is going to bounce back, and the Sean Payton thing, only being a 4-point favorite at home against the Raiders, who I should have mentioned are one of the other teams that could get the first pick in the draft. They're going to be horrific. Like that's a tough line. I think Denver might not be ready for the bounce back, Elliot.
Yeah, I also think that while I'm high on Denver, like funny way to phrase that. Well, I'm high on Denver.
Not in Denver, right?
Not in Denver.
Got it.
I would be worried to bet them early on. Like I'm high on them, but at the same time, I to your point, like they have to prove it a little bit to me before I take.
I hate this game for what it's worth. Like if I were allowed to like bet on not betting on a game, that's what I would do.
That's what you would bet. That'd be your not bet bet of the week.
I was about to say I'll take the points, and then I throw up my mouth a little bit because the Raiders are that bad. I don't know. I'll take the points. I don't know. I
would take Denver minus 4, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah. Again, this is the further if we had to make a parlay of all the games but one, this would be the game I leave out. So that's how I feel about it. All right. This is a fun one. I really like this game. I think this is a good measuring stick week 1. Again, as I've said many times, week 1 is, I'm not judging anything for real till we get 5-6 weeks in the season. But I do think the Dolphins at the Chargers is a fun start to the season for 2 teams that have high aspirations and have not put it together. And it's a classic Chargers 3-point line. Which way are you going on this one?
So I'm going to go Dolphins plus 3. So I think a lot of games with Tua last year. I think they have a better head coach. And the Chargers, they're a team to me that like they'll be in a lot of close games against good teams, but I don't trust them to pull it out at the end. So I'll take the Dolphins.
Yeah, Chargers have to show it to me. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers did have a solid year. Like if Herbert took a step forward, if the Kellen Moore thing mattered, if the defense kind of finally put together, I wouldn't be shocked, but I like Miami more. Plus, I mean, it really should be like a pick 'em because that stadium's going to have way more Miami fans than Charger fans.
I didn't think about
let's be honest. I think the travel part of it does matter though, but I'm with you. I'll take the plus.
So we're not putting it in the parlay.
Not a parlay game. No, not a parlay game. They certainly don't need it as a parlay game.
I think as a general rule, we can discuss this now. Are we putting Eagles in the bet this year?
I don't think the Eagles should be in the bet ever. Unless it's like a week where we are like, this is the biggest lock of this. Like
if there's a Giants
playoff game in a season. Yeah.
Like
if it was how we felt about that Giants playoff game in a regular season game, boom, put them in. But like, I think to put the Eagles in a parlay, we have to be 100% sure.
Yes. Agreed. I'm with you.
Okay. All right. Having said that, I think they cover in New England, obviously. I think, and you do too. You do too, but you are less sure.
I'm closer to taking the 4 than you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you would still take the Eagles officially.
I think my pick is going to be Eagles, but I could picture it being close.
All right, we'll get there. So we're only a couple more. Sunday Night Football. And this is two more. And this is a fun one. Both of these games, they got the night games right this week.
Yeah, these are both really exciting ones.
And even Chiefs Lions is fun too. I think all the night games are fun this week. Sunday nighter, I feel like it's like almost every year they just do Dallas and the Giants. So this one's Dallas at Giants. The Giants 3-point dog at home opening night against the Cowboys.
What do you think?
I'm taking the points, man.
You're taking the Giants plus 3.
Yeah, like I know the Giants we are not in on the Giants. And I think Dallas is going to be good and all that, but for some reason, I just like my issue with the Giants is more the schedule, the 7 road games and 9 games, like all that stuff they have. Like I think week 1 they're going to come out firing. I think Dallas. I mean, look, Dallas has had their number. I think Dallas has won like 11-12 or something crazy like that. So I'm taking the points, but it might just be because I hate Dallas and I can't not do it.
So
I hate the Giants too. So
flip side of that for you is I think it's a tough spot for the Cowboys, but I can't spend all off season saying the Giants are fraud and the Cowboys are as close to the Eagles. But I think it's a tough spot. Like I think, Sunday night in New York.
You get why I'm taking the 3 is the point.
Yes. But I would take the the Cowboys minus 3.
I have a feeling we're going to be on opposite sides of this last one too. Our Super Bowl picks squaring off. I think you might have changed yours or whatever. I don't remember.
Like 18 times. I don't even know
but Buffalo is a 2.5 point favorite in New York against the Giants Monday night. Aaron Rodgers and the Bills are going to win. I'll take the Bills.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jets plus 2.5.
I figured you were, buddy. All right.
That one. All right. So here's what we got in the
brass tax time.
Okay. So I'm going to read them all straight through. Don't comment until the end, then we can decide. Commanders -7 against Arizona. Jacksonville -5 versus Colts. Steelers money line versus 49ers. Vikings -6 against Buccaneers. Packers +1 against Bears. Seahawks -5.5.
So I think
if we're being honest, we should take the Steelers out.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was going to say the 2 games, like just to start with my top 2, and then we can go from there. I think the 2 games that I feel best about are Jacksonville. I feel great about Jacksonville. And honestly, the Packers over the Bears, like those would be my top 2. I really like Minnesota and I really like Washington. So those would be my 4 favorites. And then personally,
I think we should go with, if we're going to go on the conservative side, Packers, Vikings, and Jags.
Boom. I love it. Look, I said Jags and Packers are my 2 favorite.
Seahawks would probably go next. And then 7's just a lot of points, but Arizona does blow, man.
Arizona blows. I mean, do we want to add a money line in there? Like, just what does it do?
Good point.
What does it do if we just throw
money lines for those? Okay, let me grab them really quick. So it's +597 right now. If we just did those 3. Commanders money line, and we add, what was the other one? The Seahawks money line. It goes up to 1177. I like that actually.
Just go hard the first one. Just to recap, we started the pod saying, hey, this year we're going to win.
We're going to try to win, right?
Might go with 2 game parlays instead of 4, 3, 4, 5. And now we're just going to do a 5-team parlay.
But these are amazing. I mean, I feel really good about these. I like, honestly, if there was anyone, like, we could like tease the Vikings down to like 2.5.
I could get down with that.
All right, let me see if we can do that. Hold on. Well, I'm sure we can, but let me pull it up. All right, so Vikings.
So sometimes with alternate lines, it gets wonky with parlays, though. But let's see.
Okay, let's see. All right, so we're gonna go Vikings minus.
We're really making the widget team work for the first.
Minus 2.5. No, let's just stick with the 6.
Let's just stick with the 6.
Okay.
Go big or go home.
Exactly. So, all right. Vikings minus 6. Let me put it back in there. So here's one thing I think we should probably like when you put all these lines in, like when you hit the Go Birds thing, check and make sure the lines are similar. I don't think they're going to change much, but just
but that is the point. Yeah, we can. The lines will change a little bit, obviously, or can.
Okay, Vikings minus 6 is in there. So we have a 5-leg parlay. Jags, Packers, Commanders, Seahawks, Vikings. And the Seahawks and the Commanders are the money line.
So I think it's very on brand of us to do this to start the season.
I mean, look, if we hit this, it's 10 to win 117. And like, tell me which is the loser there. It's not the Seahawks. It's not the Vikings. It's not the Commanders.
One of them will lose.
The Packers +1.
Packers scary. Yeah, the more we talk about it, I was like, oh, it's one of my favorites. And now that we're doing the actual bet, I'm like,
should we take it out?
What would it be if we took it out? I went from it being one of my 2 favorites to taking it out.
So it goes from +117 to +569.
So we're back kind of where we started.
Yeah.
Odds wise, I mean.
Yeah. So what do you think?
What do you think?
I mean, it's week 1. We can be conservative later.
All right, let's go.
Right? I mean, let's go. It's exciting. It's week 1. Like,
let's have fun. Okay. Let's have fun.
All right. So
official parlay.
So download the Parks app. It'll be on the home screen. There'll be the Go Birds Pod logo. You can bet with us.
I'm so excited about this.
I know.
So
we're back.
All right. So Saturday, 1 to 3. Check us out. We'll preview the season. I'm sure we'll talk a little Jonathan Gannon, a little John Gannon, a little
I'm sure we will.
Gannon, a little JG. God, I hate him.
I know you do, buddy.
I know. And I can't wait. I can't believe we're here. Like, this is happening. Like, the Eagles are playing a game on Sunday. All right. Final thoughts, buddy.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, a really good one. All right. So.
Ooh, love a good one.
Yes. So I think that all toilets should have attached to them a plunger.
Sure. I guess.
Like, I think it should be a requirement. Like, I think all toilets should have a plunger attached.
Were you in a situation where you didn't have a plunger?
I was not. I swear on my life.
I feel like, where else does this come from?
Right. But I will say, when I'm at like a guest house or an Airbnb, one of the first things I'll look for is like, all right, is there a plunger just in case? Because we all agree the worst thing in the world is if you clog a toilet. So I think all toilets just attached to the side. You can make it look classy. Like, you can make it look like the same color. Should have it attached.
Okay. I don't hate it. I won't fight you. Yeah, sure. Why not? Give me who are
we trying to impress here? We all know if you need one, you really need one. So
it's good. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you 2. One is because it's topical and I want to get in there. And the other is a few pods ago, I asked you to choose. I had 3 final thoughts and I've used 2 of them. And the last one is still here. I said it was the dark one. We never got to the dark final thought. It's not that dark. It's, but the first one, like, I just want to make sure that we all as a community, as a fan base, all that stuff, I just think it's really important that we elevate Steven Ruiz to the Chris Sims level. Like, maybe he's not Chris Sims.
Oh, is this the ringer thing?
Steven Ruiz, like, bro, like, and I'm a ringer guy. Like, I think the ringer puts out good stuff. I'm Bill Simmons guy. We just talked about how we do the cousin sound stuff, cousin Simmons. Like, what an embarrassment. Like, honestly, it's embarrassing. The list's embarrassing. The excuses for the list are embarrassing. I heard him talk about quarterbacks last year. I think I sent you his list last year. He'd heard somewhere low down the list last year, and I was infuriated about it. I care way too much about these lists. I say that I don't, and every time it comes up, my blood pressure raises, and I get mad.
But like Stafford ahead of him, which is really weird.
Stafford, like, come on, man, like, you embarrass yourself. You should be embarrassed.
So here's what I would say about the list. Like, there must be some weird way they're doing to justify 10, because I don't see any way you can justify it. But like, this is very similar, and I understand the hypocrisy. There'd be times I'd write something and people are like, well, there's a typo, so who cares what you have to say? So I understand this is a minor criticism. But if your whole thing is going to be Hurts is 10, you need to put an updated picture of him when he's in his correct jersey and not his number 2 jersey.
Wow, that's a great point. No, I think you're dead on about that.
Right? Like if you're
seriously.
gonna if you're gonna like
you're telling me you watch this guy play and you're publishing a list because you watched him play all the time? Like,
yes, like no, he's not number 2 anymore. He is number 1. And also like I know this isn't the reason, but it just kind of like backs up the idea that like you're not changing your mind.
You're not putting in all the work.
Well, you're not changing your mind on him. Like he's a better quarterback than when he wore number 2. So it's just a small thing. Look, Hurts is not the 10th best quarterback in the league. We have debated like, is it fair to put him number 6 versus 3 or 2? But like 10th is ridiculous at this point.
It's
even with him having only done it a year. 10th is insane.
Yeah, Dak Prescott in front of him.
Dak's ahead of him.
Like, come on, man. Come on.
There was
Herbert's 3rd on the list. It's like, oh, great.
That's too high for Herbert. But like,
win a game, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
A meaningful game. All right.
Do you have the list in front of you?
I do. So
real quick.
Yes.
Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert.
So it's Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Burrow. So he's got Burrow 4 already.
Which is really,
nonsense. Lamar 5, Trevor Lawrence 6, Aaron Rodgers 7, Dak Prescott 8, Matthew Stafford 9, Jalen Hurts 10.
So Dak and Stafford ahead of Hurts is just silly. Stafford's career is like over. And while I like Dak more than most, he led the league in interceptions last year.
Yeah. How about also the fact that he has Tom Brady 11. So I guess Tom Brady not playing.
There's a joke in there about
there is. Yeah. He has Kyler Murray 12th. He has Geno Smith 13th. So like it's a trash
Does he
list.
like explain at the top maybe like here's my weird way I'm doing this?
No, so I've heard him talk about it. I've actually heard because I've listened to Ringer Pods before.
Right.
I've heard him talk. Like his justification is horrific. It's horrific. It's always just about the throws. It's all about the throws they can make and crap like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that seems way too subjective to.
Yes, exactly. It's
ding him
a
down
stat
to 10.
list. Like honestly, like I don't like to say this kind of stuff, and I don't. But like it reads like the type of list of someone who doesn't watch football. It reads like the type of list of someone who looks at numbers and looks at stats. And I'm sure the guy does watch football. I'm just saying, like that's the way it looks. That's the way it comes off. You know?
Yeah, it's a bad look. I agree. It's a bad look.
All right, and now my dark one, and I am 1 billion.
I'm surprised you want to save the dark one for a regular pod.
Well, I mean, this is a regular pod.
No, I know, but I mean, like, we've already done final thoughts, but go ahead.
Yeah, you mean just save it? So, well, I've already teased it. What am I going to make people wait till next Tuesday? I might have a whole other 6 thoughts. Why don't people use headshots in movies and TV more? Like, seriously, the amount of people who get shot and when you want them to die and they live
hold on.
because they shot him in the gut or whatever, or they shot him in the, killed you, shot you in the chest. Shocking, not dead. Like, why don't they just come up and shoot these people in the head every time? Like, I don't get it. It makes no sense.
So at first
like
I thought
he's dead. He's dead. No, he's not. He's gonna get up. He's gonna survive somehow. But if you just walked over while he's lying on the ground and boom, put one in his head, he wouldn't get up.
Well,
thank you very much.
I'll say this. I know neither of us ever have it in us to kill somebody, but if one of us had to, I think. Well, at first when you said headshot, I thought we were talking about like on their resumes. I was like, I don't know. It seems like people use headshots.
So Emily and I were rewatching Lost. We've been doing like a rewatch thing, like one show at a time or whatever. And there's this, I won't say any character's name, but there's one point where the character really wants this other character dead. Like it's their whole purpose in life. And they shoot him in the belly, and then they leave.
I agree.
And the character lives. Like, what are you doing? Yes. All you cared about was that person dying. It was your whole purpose in life, and you're not going to make sure they actually die. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. In movies and TV, that's what I'm saying.
Not advice I would aspire anybody to take, but if you're in a movie and you're acting,
no, I'm talking only a movie. I don't know what happens in real life. Like, I'm just saying,
I
movie
can't
and
imagine.
TV.
Yes. No, it's a good point. It's a good point.
I felt very strongly about it.
Next time I'm watching a movie, I'll think of that.
Think about it. Well, like John Wick always does kill shots. Like John Wick always, like the real deal
just said.
movie
that's why John Wick is the best.
Did they? So I don't have the chat in front of me. Great call.
Brought it up. Yeah.
I can't see the chat at home when I'm on this computer. So like, my man, that's exactly right. That's why John Wick always goes for the headshots. Like, there you go. My man gets it. Who was it? Shout out to you. Thank you.
Life advice with Seltzer right there.
Feel strongly
good.
About these things. Okay, good. Awesome. We're done.
We're done. Next time you talk to us, we'll be on the radio and the Eagles will be about to play. Crazy.
I'm so excited.
Crazy.
Awesome. All right. We'll talk to you on Saturday. Obviously, post-game pod, all that stuff coming. We'll talk to you about it all. I can't believe it. We made it, buddy. So excited. Go Birds.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait. All right. We'll talk to you on Saturday. He's Adam James.